everybody, it's Shadowstar and Crystal here for another review of Legends of Tomorrow. This time it's Raiders of the Lost Ark, an episode I've been waiting for so long. It's an episode that is near and dear to my heart. This is the episode, so let me tell you something. I'm the type of person that when I've been kind of interested in a show, I don't think, oh yeah, I better go out and watch it, because how do I know I like it? I've just, there was years and years ago, I had kind of heard about Legends of Tomorrow. I knew it was a time travel show. I knew Arthur Darvill was in it. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll think about that. Then one day, it was on TV. And this was the episode. So I watched it. And I loved it. And I had to watch it. And luckily, the next episode ended up being on the next day. So I watched that too. And after that, I was like, oh yeah, I've got to see this.
Seems a bit confusing to start with.
It really isn't though. Maybe I'm just really good at catching onto plots. But here's the thing. I've always said, I prefer, if I want to watch a show, I love to see a random episode first. Because I think to myself, I want to see it in the middle of the action and see what an episode is like, not see the boring bits at the start. I'm not saying the first episode is boring, but
I might not have gotten so into Steven Universe if I had started from the start. But because I saw Catch and Release, that was great.
Exactly. It's more like, you're being teased by little mentions of plot threads that have happened or are going to happen. It's like, oh, I want to hear what happens next, or I want to hear about this plot thread that sounds cool. Even though you might say it's confusing, to me it's not. It's like, oh, I can kind of get an idea of what they're talking about, but I want to know it a bit now. There's so many little plot threads that come up in this episode, but at the same time, this episode is so fun. This proved to me, this is exactly what you needed to pull you in. Like, if you had showed me the very first episode, I would not have watched it. Not to say the first episode is bad, but I would have been more...
I watched it seeing the first episode.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I would have been more confused by the first episode than I would have been this. This feels like just a nice, fun episode, even though it's got a lot of plot in it. So, enough about my nostalgia for this episode, although nostalgia will get this in the next episode a lot of points. Anyway, we open up by seeing what happened to Rip. Apparently he touched a time drive and then he disappeared. He also had a piece of the Spear of Destiny.
He also did all that within 30 seconds.
Yeah, like we said, there's a lot of things he did before the ship apparently collapsed.
But when Jax touched the time drive, he just turned old.
Look, I don't know how any of this works. Maybe there's a special way you do things. Because he must have known something or some way to do it. Anyway, Rip gets thrown back in time and we get introduced to fake Rip, better known as Philip Gasmer, who... He's not in it for many episodes, but he's somehow one of my favorite characters in the whole show.
Poor guy.
He's one of my favorite. Oh, you think that is it? You've got to... Oh, just wait till you see him in the next episode.
I have seen him.
I know. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. He's so fun in this episode. He's so fun in the next episode. The Legends are so fun in this episode. Mick and Stein kind of have their own little plot off to the side. And that's another point is we're still dealing with the Snart stuff, which is nice. Except they didn't want to pay Wentworth Miller, so they just had Mick pretend he was there for one moment.
Yeah.
That was a weird moment. But yeah, and it was fun having a dynamic between Mick and Stein.
Yeah, and we're trying to uncover the mystery of why he's seeing Snart. Is it just an emotional thing? He's got a thing in his head, but nope, it was deactivated anyway. So we don't really know what's causing it exactly.
Exactly, but... Even in this one episode, I already kind of found it. I already kind of thought, yeah, Stein's my favorite character. I don't know why. Again, one episode in, I'm like, I like Stein already. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's the older character in a team of young people. I don't know what it was. But yeah, again, I was like, watch this episode and I always remember what was going through my mind the first time I saw it.
You know, if I saw this as the first episode... I might have picked Amaya as a favourite.
I can understand
Sarah
that.
didn't do much, but Amaya was really smart.
Yeah, Amaya
She figured out that the amulet was two things, which Damien and Malcolm didn't even figure that out before Eobard showed them. Not that that was in this episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Amaya figured that out. She understood everything she figured out what was going on with why their memories changed. She was the only other one in the room when they were figuring it out. And she was the smart one who tried to talk to George Lucas.
So yeah, we have George Lucas in this episode, so of course we have to try and squeeze in as many puns and references to Star Wars and other stuff as you could. Because, you've got the bit where Amaya's like, "You're our only hope." And then, of course, you've got the trash compactor scene.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So yeah, there's like some nice little references to Star Wars and a few other things. And of course, the title Raiders of the Lost Ark, like, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you get George Lucas. I always love when you get the fun historical characters. And I think it's the first time we've had a historical character who... They're not somebody who plays a part in history per se. They're more somebody who does something, and you get to make a lot of references.
Yeah. And it just shows how important TV is. Like,
I know, which is funny because, it's like this episode is about how important fictional media is. And this is the episode that literally got me, and by extension you, into the entire Arrowverse.
yeah, I know. And those movies changed Nate and Ray's lives.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Star Wars is one of the hugest movies franchises there is.
I can see how you go from physics to doctor. I don't see how you go from historian to yoga instructor.
It is I know, that one is a bit of a fudge, but don't think too hard about the alternate whatever they were. But yeah, and I love the chemistry that Damien and Malcolm had in this episode. They felt like a fun duo, and there are lots of little comedic moments. I felt like in this episode...
Oh yeah, like when they're walking and he's like, "Oh, after this I want to go over there." Why? Oh, because I want to see the star on the thing.
I know, I like their little... I like how... I don't know whether it's... I feel like this episode kind of paints them in a slightly more comedic light than the previous episodes.
Yeah.
Like, they're still the badass League of Assassins people they are. But at the same time, I feel like this is the second half of the season really kind of starts to paint them in a slightly more comedic light without completely destroying their characters. And I love that. This show just really likes to have fun, whether it's, like you said, their banter when they're walking, their little cutting back as they're sitting in the elevator. I don't know why. It's just small little moments that make this episode so good.
Oh yeah, those guys are definitely really good at that.
Yeah, and of course, I feel like this episode is one of the first major episodes that really pushes a lot of the fourth wall breaks. It's not strong fourth wall breaks, but of course, with George Lucas and fake Rip making the movie, you get a lot of clever shots, like whether it's making fun of how bad Vandal Savage's actor is, or how weird season 1 is, or referring to the Spear of Destiny as a MacGuffin, which is great.
But also, I just really want to watch that movie.
I know, I want to watch it because it's kind of like a fusion and everything's kind of jumbled up. I want to see this movie.
Yeah, because it seems to be about season 1, but also the Spear of Destiny exists.
Yeah, I know. I do like that the line they're using is an actual line from season 1 too, but yeah, I love all those little bits. I love all the, kind of teasing and making fun of it, calling it the MacGuffin and all that stuff. And
yeah, but Malcolm is definitely great at the comedy stuff. I mean, that's what John Barrowman is good
definitely.
at. But I want to share a little fun fact about John Barrowman I read recently.
Okay.
So, the TV show Will and Grace, which is about gay
Get
characters. Apparently, John Barrowman auditioned for the part of Will, but was rejected because he seemed too straight.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Too straight. Put a picture of the Wonder Woman costume
or
on
the TARDIS
screen.
dress.
Yes. He is not too straight.
Yeah, but anyway, getting off, I mean, like I said, they're both villains which have a lot of comedic humor. Like, I know Malcolm was kind of serious in season 1, but he lightened up throughout each season and he's got a good snarky tone. And Damien's always been a comedic villain, even in Arrow. So put them together, then give us Eobard Thawne, and you get the perfect chemistry in the world. And of course, this episode also had the Wilhelm scream when Malcolm gets thrown. So
Oh, of course. It's a movie thing.
There's so much good moments in this episode. And of course you get the cliffhanger where fake Rip is kidnapped by the Legion of Doom. Yes, we're now calling them the Legion of Doom.
I guess I'll go as high as 8.5.
Oh, I'm giving it a 9.5.
Okay.
Believe me, I'm so tempted to give it a 10, but maybe I'll save that for next episode.
Alright.
Next episode is fittingly called Legion of Doom.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorite Legends episodes of all time. I don't know if it's my absolute favorite, but it's definitely high up there. I absolutely love it. But that's for another day. This episode, absolutely brilliant. We'll see you next time for more Legends and other things as well.
See you next time, guys.